How many apps do you use to create just one video? One for AI ideas, one for editing, one for captions, another for export, and suddenly a 30-second video takes hours to produce.
That's the reality for many creators today. What should be a simple workflow becomes fragmented, time-consuming, and inefficient, with constant switching between platforms just to complete one piece of content.
At the same time, creators are stuck between dominant tools like Canva and CapCut. Canva offers polished templates and team collaboration, while CapCut benefits from TikTok synergy and trending formats. But both still require creators to move across multiple steps and often leads to repetitive, template-driven content.
This creates what we call the efficiency gap. Professional consumers or prosumers, such as digital marketers, small business owners, and influencers, need high-quality content fast, but their workflows remain scattered across platforms.
That's where Clipfly positions itself differently. Instead of being just another AI tool, Clipfly is designed as a full content generation platform, a unified ecosystem that takes creators from the initial AI prompt all the way to the final timeline editing, all in one environment.
So the question becomes, can one platform actually replace this fragmented workflow? And can it help creators move faster without sacrificing creativity?
To explore this, we collaborated with lifestyle content creators, the Desigirls, who regularly produce high-volume social media content and rely on editing tools as part of their daily workflow.
In this video, we first talked them about their current content creation process, the challenges they face, and what they look for in editing platforms.
Then we asked them to try Clipfly themselves, from generating ideas with AI to editing and exporting within the same platform. We guided them through a full end-to-end workflow.
Afterwards, we interviewed them again to understand whether Clipfly actually improved their efficiency, reduced platform switching, and supported their creative process. So, can Clipfly really function as a creative operating system for modern creators?
Hi, come get ready with me with the Desigirls using Clipfly. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Kajal from the Desigirls, and I'm a content creator. I've been doing this for about 2 years, so we've had the page Desigirls for 2 years. It's a duo page, one of us isn't here, but now we both do it from different countries, and we kind of just showcase our lives and our culture.
So first, please can you walk us through your typical content creation process from idea to posting?
So when it comes to ideas, when Rachel and I were together, we would both think of ideas but not really talk to each other about them, so that when we do film it, it's very natural and raw. I'll use daily experiences, anything that might come up in conversation, anything that I think is controversial, I'll write it down, and then we basically just meet up, sit together, get our little mics, our little tripod, phone set up with the lighting, and we just start talking. Our videos are very natural. People think that we rehearse them or we have a script. We don't. We just generally just go off each other's reactions. Sometimes it'll be controversial, sometimes it'll be relatable, and then when we've got those, I'll then edit everything.
So it's like nice and authentic.
Very, very.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what platforms do you currently use for content creation?
So everything's posted on Instagram and TikTok. We have a few on YouTube Shorts as well, but it's a bit difficult to maintain. Film on the iPhone, edit using CapCut, and yeah, that's about it.
And do you just use CapCut, or do you use any others like Canva or any of those?
I use Canva for photos or stories, not as much anymore because everything's available via ChatGPT, but only use CapCut.
Okay, and do you use that for almost every video that you post?
Every video, yeah.
And what's your favourite features that CapCut has?
I think that I can do multiple projects at one time. There's so many tools on there, for example stabilization, which helps the video be stabilized. I can reduce noise, I can add really cool effects if need be. It's just really simple and easy to use.
And back to the content you create, what types of videos do you usually post, like vlogs, get ready with me's?
Yeah, all of the above and more. Probably we're trying to showcase our lives. When we first started this page, it was more about controversial topics, kind of bring in an audience that would be relatable to us. Now I feel like we've got a community. We're now starting to share a little bit more about us because now they're interested in who we are. So day in the lives, get ready with me's, because we're also not together anymore, so we have to be independent and film content on our own. So literally everything.
Okay, and how often do you post?
Every day. We try and post every day. When we first started, for the first 6 months, we were posting twice a day religiously, and that's what really helped grow our channel. Now it's once a day if we can. Sometimes we'll have breaks. We've had breaks for 3 weeks or a week for whatever reason, but it's usually every day.
Okay, and do you manage to still like post together at all, or just alone?
So she's no longer here. Vaishali, who I film with, is no longer here with me, but we pre-recorded loads of videos, so I have about 20 videos to use. Okay. But it's really this mix and match on the feed right now, like a little bit of her life right now and then a little bit of pre-recorded videos, so yeah.
And how long does it normally take you to edit one video?
I would say, depending on what it is, 15 minutes to 1 hour. It really depends, and then that might be like with subtitles, without subtitles. If it's not got subtitles, to take that maybe like 10-15 minutes. So yeah, it can take a while.
Okay. And do you think like once you started using CapCut, it made the time shorter to edit a video than in the beginning?
I think I've only ever used CapCut. Like, I've never edited on Instagram. I used to edit on TikTok, but I feel like the quality reduces. The good thing about CapCut is I can download in whatever I want, so 1080p or 4K. And I use both. I use 4K for Instagram and 1080p for TikTok, whereas if I edit on TikTok, it'll only be 1080p.
Okay.
So yeah.
And what would you say is the biggest struggle you encounter with your video making process?
I think number one, when doing subtitles, we speak majority in Gujarati. That is not really a language picked up, so we have to translate everything. I would say sometimes the length of the videos, like when we do film, if it's like 5 to 7 minutes or even 10 minutes, cutting that down to a reasonable time that's going to still get the audience's attention is very difficult. And I think just like having so many different videos on one platform, you can get a bit confused, but you just have to be on it.
And have you heard of Clipfly before?
Never heard of it, no.
That's about to change.
Let's see a quick behind the scenes of Kajal using Clipfly.
Hey, it's Kajal from the Desigirls, and I thought I would go through Clipfly and talk about my experience and what I'm finding on the site. So I've imported one of my videos, and it's really simple to kind of split and like cut the video where I want it to be cut. The caption button on the left is really, really handy so that it generates the captions for me automatically. This is so key for my editing because it basically saves me time having to write everything out, and it does it for me. So I love this feature. And then it's done, which is great. And then I can kind of go through the fonts and choose what I want, which is so much more simple. I feel like with other apps, especially like CapCut, I have to go into the fonts and it's quite techy and there's just a lot of buttons and a lot of swiping, whereas this one it's so much more easier because it's in a drop down format. I really like the simplicity of Clipfly, especially when just like choosing the colors and just kind of editing the captions. I personally love this and just find this so much more efficient. As I'm just exploring the site, I saw there was a button for effects, which is really, really cool. There's quite a lot of them, and I love the fact that I can actually see the effect displayed to me before I actually select it onto the video. And then I had to play around with some other features, so the transition effects. And again, just like the effects, it's so handy to be able to see the different effects. So I don't actually have to click on it and mess around with it. I can just generally just go on, see what effects there are, see which one I'm actually looking for. And then there's a search bar at the top as well, also really handy for just searching whatever I want. Another really cool feature of Clipfly, which I've not seen on CapCut personally, is that when I went over the transitions, it actually displayed the transition to me. So it showed me in real time what it would actually look like, which I again thought was so cool. And again, messing around with the site, I saw there's, the AI video feature. So there's so many different tools that I can actually use to enhance my videoing, my editing, making my process more efficient, which I think is so cool and so different. And I've not seen some of these on other platforms. But this was really nice to experiment with, and I'm going to export my video. So thank you so much, Clipfly, for allowing me to use a site and edit.
Now we're back after using Clipfly, and we're going to talk about your experience. So first, can you walk us through what your typical content creation process was with using Clipfly?
So it was so easy to use. I just put the video in, and because of the AI feature, it actually edited the video for me automatically, which was just so handy on the app. So I really, really enjoyed using it.
And on first thoughts, was there anything that surprised you about the platform?
How many AI features there were. I would say it almost was a little bit like ChatGPT, and I don't even need to use ChatGPT anymore because it's on Clipify. The way that it automatically edited the video for me, it was just so quick on the app.
And do you think this is something that they are better at than CapCut? Does CapCut have many AI options?
I
or
think
not?
it does, but not as much as Clipify. So in my opinion, I think it made it easier for me.
Okay, how has your workflow changed after using Clipfly?
I think it's become a little bit more efficient. I'm able to just spend more time in just putting the video in and letting it edit itself and see what it does, and I only have to make a few adjustments, as opposed to on CapCut. With my experience, it takes a little bit more time. So yeah, Clipfly is definitely more efficient for me.
Yeah, and do you feel like now you can produce more content consistently?
I think because it's more efficient to make the content, I think it's easier to make it more consistently. And especially like with some of the features and with the AI effect, like if I was to film separately and Vaishali was to film separately, it actually puts us together quite nicely. So I really like that. I would definitely say that it would make it more easy for me in the future as well, going forward.
And do you think it makes the content creation feel like easier to be more creative?
I think because I would spend less time editing, I have more time to then think about ideas. And also because of the prompts, it actually gives me ideas about like, what I should do. And especially because Vaishali is no longer here, I'm always struggling for ideas and kind of like what to do. And like, you know, idea generation is really difficult. So it gives me prompts, it gives me ideas, and I really, really like that. Again, it kind of gives the ChatGPT aspect, but everything just on one app.
And would you continue using Clipfly in your future content?
For sure, like I'm going to use it from like going forward today, and I'm also recommending it to like everyone I know.
Do you see it replacing any tools you use, or using it like in combination with what you're using already?
I think it would replace ChatGPT and CapCut for me. I'd only really use one editing platform, and it's going to be this platform now. And I wouldn't have to rely on ChatGPT for prompts or ideas as much anymore. So yeah, for sure.
And who do you think this tool is best suited for?
Content creators, professionals in the industry, marketing executives, marketing assistants, really anyone that is going to edit a video. It could also be, I think, also for like, yes, professionals, but anyone that wants to do something simple, like if you want to just create a video for TikTok or like a little fun montage for your holiday, I think it could also be handy for that.
And what advice would you give to creators struggling with their content production?
I think definitely give Clipfly a go, you know, because of that generation, it really helps you with prompts, because of the AI features. I think it would really help you, like, you know, at the start of your journey as you're going along. Definitely give it a go, and that would help you out.
Amazing. And finally, if you had to describe Clipfly in one sentence, what would it be?
Efficient, for sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. It was like, I actually really enjoyed using it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks.
So, if creators don't need 3 tabs open, 5 apps running, and 10 experts per video anymore, are we witnessing the end of chaotic content creation?
Honestly, it might be, because what we saw today wasn't just another editing tool. It felt more like a shortcut from idea to finished content. Less, where do I do this, and more, let's just make it.
And that changes the mindset. When editing becomes quicker, creators stop overthinking production and start focusing on ideas, storytelling, and consistency.
Which is huge, especially for marketers, content creators, and professionals who don't just need one good video, they need content regularly.
And for creators just starting out, that's even more powerful. No complicated learning curve, no switching between platforms, just prompts, ideas, and videos coming together in one place.
So maybe the real question isn't, can Clipfly replace other tools?
It's what happens when creators spend less time editing and more time actually creating.
More ideas, more content, less friction.
And maybe fewer open tabs. Thanks for watching. If you had Clipfly right now, what would you create? Let us know in the comments below.